Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our full breakdown and some fun little team builds for the Dokkan Festival exclusive Android 21. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And I hope everyone who was summoning for this unit here got lucky. My summoning video is already out, so definitely go ahead and check that video out. We had a good time doing so. But let's go ahead, of course, start off with the breakdown with the card arts. And I'll tell you what, the card arts, both of them look incredibly good. This is a transformation unit, so it also, of course, has a transformation. That big, bright red cross, like key blast there, is pretty nice. It's when you also animate the card art as well, it looks really good. So I love the colors, love everything about it. So no issues on SSR, TUR, or the transformation state. So almost 10 out of 10. I'll say 9.5 out of 10, right? So it looks incredibly good. Let's go ahead and look at the unit though. So I have issues with the unit. I think a lot of people are okay with the unit. There are some things, if they could have changed, simply changed a little bit here and there, this unit would have been actually incredible. Starting with, actually, let's go ahead and start with the stats first. The stats are okay, right? It's 270 for HP, under 15,000 for attack, which I wish they would have increased that. But really nice defense here, 12,913. Now, I want to make this bigger here. Let's talk about the leader skill. The leader skill is the one that bothers me the most because androids, Majin Power, Peppy Gals at 170, this is the main leader skill, which doesn't really gives us too many options for other units. And then you have the power absorption, transformation boost, and crossover that's going to provide you the boost. If they were to just flip this around, power absorption, transformation boost, crossover at 170, and then androids, Majin Power, and Peppy Gals at 30% for the 200 boost, it's the same units that are going to get the 200%. However, you have a lot more options to want to run at 170 than you would over here. So I really wish they would have done something like that. I think that would have been very beneficial. Now, the super attack here is raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy. So no issues there, nothing overly special. And super attacks are, you know, it's either stacking or no stacking, and that's pretty much about it these days. Now, the passive skill, again, interesting here, but could have just adjusted a couple things, especially this one here. Attack defense 150%, which is kind of low for kind of the current meta of things. You're seeing units at 160, 170, 180. This easily could have been you know, like 180 or something at the start, but they do boost it up here, which is fine. Here, right, they could have just simply done this: all allies key +2, attack and defense plus 21%. This would have made this unit way more valuable, and on these teams, on their categories here, you know, a great support unit. But they just said, oh yeah, we're just gonna put all allies key +2. Now, the reason why they have the key +2 here is the link skills are awful unless you're gonna be running another 21. But with other units, yeah, good luck, right? So they kind of needed to have that, and that's why if they would have just added the extra 21%, it would have been fine. It would have been so much better, but they didn't do that. Now you do have plus an additional attack defense 120% when attacking, high chance of evading enemies attack including super attack same turn, plus an additional key +2, attack 60% for 3 turns after evading an attack, and then an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack, which is good because you're going to get that boost here and the raises defense. Launches additional attack, has a great chance of becoming super attacks from start of the battle, performs in the 3rd attack of the battle. So after the 3rd attack, so you can get another opportunity here with a great chance. So again, boosting that defense, and then disables enemies attack. This is really strong here. Disables any enemy attack once in a turn when the character performs a 6th attack in the battle, and a great chance of performing a critical hit start of the next turn of the attacker. So pretty solid here, right? And, you know, really overall, it doesn't have, of course, the guard or the damage mitigation, but because of the multiple super attacks and then the boost here to defense, she does fairly well. Again, if they would have made this a support unit, the value would have skyrocketed. So now you do have the opportunity here to transform, and you're transforming basically at the 5th turn. And it is an active skill, but I would say 100% that you're going to go ahead and transform, because the transformation state is really so much better than this state here. The Link skills: Brainiacs, Metamorphosis, Android Assault, Shocking Speed, Battlefield Diva, Scientist, First Battle. Then of course you have Peppy Gals, Android's Transformation, Boost, Module Power, Battle of Wits, Power Absorption, and Crossover as the categories on here, right? So once you transform, again, it just becomes so much better. It's attack and defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage to enemy and recovers 5% HP, which that's always valuable. And then when you transform, you also get the opportunity to gain 30% once you transform. I guess that's where you'll kind of figure out, okay, when do I want to transform, because I want to maybe heal myself for 30%. But 30% isn't like, 70 or 100% there. So 30% you can probably just go ahead and just transform and you'll be just fine. So then attack and defense 210%. So this is what we expected. Android 21, 210. That makes all the sense in the world. Again, oh man, additional 21% to attack and defense. Not all that like huge for the unit of itself, but for the other units that you have on the team, it just could have been so much better. Plus an additional key +2, attack and defense 121. When attacking, reduces damage by 21%. So this makes this unit incredibly strong here. Hugely beneficial. Where of course over here they don't have that damage mitigation. So once you transform, this damage mitigation is going to be really huge. And then plus an additional 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack, launches 2 attacks with each of which has a great chance of becoming super attack. Again, you're going to get that defensive boost, and then recovers 21% when HP is 60% or less at the end of the turn. So this is incredibly strong right here. Huge benefit, of course, as long as you survive. All right. So you do also have an additional active skill here. Once you transform, you have this attack ability here. Massively raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to enemy, disables enemy's action once within the turn, and then when the turn is activated, attacks against all types after that. So again, hugely beneficial. Transform as soon as possible. Can be activated when facing one enemy from the next attacking turn once only. Now there is a slight benefit, depends on how you think. Oh, really? It really is, because scientists, like how many link partners do you have for scientists? You lose scientists, you get big bad bosses. I wish I just would have kept big bad bosses all the way through, but you do, when you transform, get big bad bosses there. And if you're running with a character that does have big bad bosses, that's a really strong boost to both of those units when you guys link up. Categories stay the same. So that is the unit overall. Again, on paper, it's like, okay, it's not too bad. They could have made a couple tweaks on there. Especially the leader skill, especially the key +2 with attack and defense as support. All ally support 21%. Again, it's not overly huge, but would have made a lot more a lot more difference in the overall value of the unit here. Now, when you look at the best link partners, of course, the best link partner is going to be Evil 21, right? And then you also have the good EZA 21, and then those units there, which isn't all that great, but those are going to be options. But that's pretty much about it. So when I go into team builds here, it's not going to be a big surprise that there's not much to really talk about. The team in of itself that they build, that you can build with this, is very lackluster. So when you're looking at 200%, you kind of look at the units, you're going, they're not all that great. The units here that are on the main screen, they're going to be your best options on here. Maybe you want to run the LR Super Boo in the main rotation. Again, it would have been nice to have the additional 21% to attack and defense, but you do have that +2 to key, which of course you're not linking up very well. Makes a lot of sense here. The EZA Super Dragon Ball Heroes Demon Goddess Toa is also at 200%. It's going to be a superb support unit. But of course, without the 200%, then we're going to look at LR Bulma. It's going to be the support unit there, right? So, but anyway, this is really, I want to just quickly rant here a little bit. This is where it's so important for people to value a leader skill, right? And there's certain characteristics that, it's like, okay, what's the best unit? What's the best unit? A lot of people just focus too much on the passive. The leader skill, if you're able to build your own incredible team, your value skyrockets, because if you're also good on that team, for example, Spirit Bomb GT, right? A lot of people go, oh, well, there's other units that have a better power skill. You're right. But that unit alone has one of the best teams that you can build. And you can't not build that team without that particular leader skill. So in this case scenario, as you can see here, the leader skill is not good, right? Again, if they flipped it around, it actually would have made these options so much better. I was kind of messing around with the different units that you can run, and yeah, just tremendously better. But this is kind of what we're going to have here. Now, when you're running at 200%, if you want to have like good link partners, you can run the EZA, good Android 21. She's not very good overall, especially in today's meta. So that's probably not going to work out that well. Oh, by the way, you see LR Ribrianne down there because of JP has that. Global does not have that unit there. So generally speaking, you know, when you step out of the 200%, you're going to find yourself with better options, right? And again, this is where I'm going, okay, you can run a ton of androids here, right? And LR Bulma, which is going to be, you know, an incredible unit on here, and that makes it definitely more tolerable and beneficial, right, with LR Bulma. But they're all running at 170%, right? None of these individuals on here are power absorption, transformation, boost, and crossover. Again, which is a shame. So if they would have just changed something, they would have looked at it as like, what are the best units that you're going to be running on this team here, and can we boost them up to 200%? That would have been, you know, more beneficial. But anyway, these are some of your options here. You do have a bunch of 200% that you can run, but then you also have a lot of different support units. Now, we don't know how good the LR51 EZA is going to be, so I did not put them like in the forefront of this, so they're just kind of on the side on the support there. So of course, if LR51 is incredibly good, you might want to trade out for either one of the gammas, right? Because gammas are supporting only attack or defense, not both at the same time. So with that, if you, what happened here? Oh, support. What happened here? Oh, these is the androids team. Oh yeah, this is support team. Oh, if you're going to be running the androids team here. So again, I was finished up with the support team. The support team is going to be, I would say, the one that you're going to run the most, and you can trade out Gamma 1, Gamma 2 for the different support. Now, if you are going to run an androids team, it's going to look more like something like this, because you can't run LR Bulma on a full androids team, right? And then again, you can now run LR51, the EZA. However good that's going to be, it's still probably going to be better than any other support unit that we currently have. Now, you could, you know, trade things up, and you could run the gammas in a rotation, because of course we all know gammas in a rotation is incredibly strong, even at 170%. However, it's still not ideal. And then you're going to have, of course, key issues, or key issues in the floater position, possibly. Actually, no, I think most of these individuals are going to be fine on the key side of things. But again, it still would have been beneficial if, like, think about this, like on the support team here, going back to the support team here, like most of these units are supporting, and if you have the Android 21 supporting that 21% with those units there, I think just it would have just conduced and made this team just so much better, right? And you can have it more viable in like the best teams. But anyway, so going back to this one here, you can run the gammas in a rotation, or you can say, you know what, I want to make sure I have big bad bosses on here, so you're gonna run maybe like LR EZA Cell on there to get that big bad bosses, right? So something like that. Now, of course, you can run the full Ladies Night team if you're going to do that. It's probably best if you're going to be running the Kale with Kale and Khalifa, EZA, and if you're able to run those two units, because those are tournament participants, then you can actually run the LR Ribrianne, because that does provide a little bit of a benefit there on there. Now, if you took LR Ribrianne out, you can add anyone else down below. It's still not a great team. Again, you do have LR Bulma to buff everybody, and that's great, but you know, the main rotation should do fine. But then, like, okay, where else do I put as a floater position that I can maybe survive in hard content? So, you know, maybe, you know, Demon Goddess Toa or something like that versus Ribrianne or something like that. But anyway, so that's kind of like the Peppy Gals. So any Peppy Gals events that you're going to be running is going to be pretty easy. So you really don't need to have like super in-game teams that you're building. And then finally, probably the worst team you could probably run right now with this right here is Majin Power, right? So Majin Power here, yeah, it's just not good. So you don't really have much floater options here. So you're third position, and you're probably going to get hit and die on harder in-game content. I think the main rotations are fine because with Super Boo at a 200%, he's going to do just fine and going to have no issues there. So anyway, that's pretty much about it. So Android 21, again, some issues on the team and the team builds that you can develop here. And if they made some tweaks, I would have think that this would have been a much more valuable unit. But this is one of those units that you're going to play around with a little bit, and you're probably not going to run this unit ever again. So Videl comes to mind. Some other units come to mind, but Videl just the one that comes to mind the most. Anyway, I got to stop rambling on here. If you guys enjoyed this video here, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.